welcome to our channel. This is Campus Rundown here on TVUCC, the #1 infotainment show that aims at updating people on events, activities, programs that happen on the land of the University of Cape Coast. I am Louise Bequin. You can call me the PDF. And of course, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please, this is the time. Subscribe to our channel. Click on the notification icon so that you would always get alert on our update here, and do us that favor, right? Share this content for everyone to get to know what we are doing. Today we're going to have conversation with SRC President of the University of Cape Coast, Mr. Latif Lawrence Johoway. The Student Representative Council has launched a new project. They call it the SRC Shop and Shopping Day. We are going to get to know the nitty-gritties of this project and see the way forward. What should we expect from them? Where can we get these food items to even buy? It's a food item project anyway. They are going to sell food to the students of the University of Cape Coast. This time, not the usual prices that you will get in the market, but at reduced price. That is what makes it unique. Once again, you're welcome. I'm here with my colleague Obobi Onesiferus. Before the SRC president joins us, we are going to talk about what happened when they launched the project. Obobi joined me there, and so we're going to have interaction here, conversation on the launching day, and what he also observed. Obobi, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Adrian. I think on that fateful day was interesting seeing most of the students coming out to patronize the goods that the SRC had brought. It just reminds me of let me say, similar project, the previous administration who did that. But of course, this one is quite unique because you look at the prices then and then the prices now, of course, things have increased. And they were also looking at it from a different perspective, and then the current administration also looking at it from this particular perspective. So all in all, I think it's a good initiative for the fact that they're investing. You get it? It's not always that it's going to be freebies. At one point in time, we as citizens or students or wherever we find ourselves, we must be also proactive. We must also know that responsibility doesn't lie on leadership alone. It also lies or behoves on us to also make input in whatever we are doing. So I was excited. You know, usually sometimes in UCC, often you'd hear that when the SRC is doing a program, people wouldn't want to participate and all that. But this was a different issue. The long winding queues, and I saw lots of friends who had to even run away from class to come and purchase and go back to class. So I mean, I couldn't follow for the subsequent days, but for the first day, which was also it dovetailed into the launch, I felt all in all it was a good project, and kudos to the SRC for initiating that. Although I have my own qualms with one or two things, but I mean, you look at things from the positive perspective. The negative sides are things you can work on, and at the end of the day, you can get 100%.
That would also help him to, of course, get to know the loopholes and the kind of things that he has to work on going forward. But let me ask you this. Going forward, how do you describe the picture, sustainability of this project?
Well, he'll be in a better position to answer issues concerning sustainability. Is it something they can sustain? Is the wherewithal there? What are the plans ahead? Can we have some even collaborations going beyond that, where we could have maybe ambassadors or something? Once it's more of a win-win situation though, but can UCC win more by getting maybe, as I said, ambassadors? Could they probably reduce the prices more? Yeah, so I'm looking at these things. If we can get one of these things worked on, it could be sustained. And then also, I think much will also depend on the Dean of Students. If he approves of it, that's okay. So the next year, and even the next batch of SRC executives, if they also see it from that positive eye, we are all seeing it, and would like to continue it, then that's fine. But if they don't see it from his angle and would want to do a different thing, then sustainability becomes an issue. Remember the idea challenge? I remember, I think, as way back as 2017, that was when the first edition was held. Look at how many years it took for the second edition to be held. After that, the next administration, well, I don't know if they are going to continue it or not. So these are few issues that I think he needs to look at. Maybe probably also when he's exiting, in his handing over note, he can implore upon the next executive to take a careful look at that particular project and continue. You know, it moves within, or it moves from their level to the national level. I'm bringing in this because we often see that from one government to the successive government, hardly would they continue all or major projects done by the previous governments, even at that level. So how much more within the student level? But I feel that once these are student leaders who would want to go out there and make a change and move away from that current status quo we find ourselves, then this should be a point for them to prove that yes, regardless of the party or which administration I find myself in, once there's a previous administration that has done something good, and we all believe in it, that this is something that's come to UCC students, even if it's not a core part of your policy, you should sustain it. I'm sure when the second, the third, the fourth person sustains it, psychologically, the fifth person that comes would continue. Then it becomes a tradition, like we see in the various halls. It was one person who took the initiative, and the other hall executives or hall presidents also followed subsequently. So we can replicate same for the general student body. So I'm praying that the next batch would sustain it.
Now, with regard to running the project, its implementation, in the next 2 months they are going to hand over. What will be your advice to them? You've been in the university for long.
It's a tough one, but this is a dream that they are nested. It's a legacy that they've left. Whether it's continued or not, it's the first time we've seen a batch of students think so much about their colleagues to the extent that what pushes us, the engine, PDF, let me tell you, hunger is a very challenging moment. If you're hungry, even if you have the money, and you're unable to purchase the food, you know how difficult it is. But in this case, things have been reduced. Oil, food, and these are the basic items that students would rise. I know some of the students were shouting that they should add gobe. So yes, they can look at these things, and as I said, in their handing over notes, they can implore upon the next administration. I think that's what they should do. In the handing over notes, let them implore upon the next administration that look, this is something we brought. This is the vision behind it. Let's keep it running for the sake of our students. And if that follows through, then we'll not be doubling about sustainability. It will be a thing of the past.
Would you advise them to have a SRC restaurant? You said some of the students were talking about adding gobe. Gobe is a cooked one. This time we have raw food served.
I think the SRC has a cafeteria behind the Samduna Library. Yeah, so they can look at that and see how they could extend that, maybe from a different perspective and all that. But if they want ideas, they should pay consultation.
But that cafeteria, let me find out from you. Is SRC really behind the running?
I think Lawrence would be the best person to answer this particular question. So maybe that could be number one as an icebreaker, that the SRC cafeteria. Is the SRC still running? And I'm sure you give you the best answer.
Mm-hmm. Obi, this is where I would want us to end our conversation. But before you go, you were the chairman of the Campus Icon project that they launched last year. How far with that?
I think today is a day dedicated for the SRC president to talk about his project. So I don't think stealing that opportunity to talk about Campus Icon is the best. We'll be giving updates on Campus Icon, whether it's going to come off, even if it's going to come off, where they can get the forms and all that, and whether there have been changes or no changes, all that will be done. So let's leave this day for Lawrence to talk about the food. I don't know, because I was so much involved in the previous
Shop and
shopping day.
Yeah.
I was so much involved in the last year's activities. Their projects seem to stick on my mind much more than these year's executives. So the SRC shop and shopping day. So if you're out there and you're watching us, hey, don't lose guard. This is a good opportunity for you. You get it. Everyone will be served. And you know the cost of rice, 5 kg, now 100, 150. And look, I don't want to promote the brand, but look at that particular quality brand. It sells around 120 to 130 cedis, and you're getting it for as low as 60 cedis, almost half the price. Hey, what are you waiting for? If you are there, man, go get yours.
So if we were to be a student, you would have acted like the ant. You would have been buying in bulk.
Oh yeah. I learned it's 1 sack per person. Had it not been that, but I think we'll still find ways. Maybe a group of 10 students, we buy, we're only be bringing any girls.
Latif will tell us more about how to control that, regulate that, because somebody can buy, hide behind another person, and buy more.
Exactly. So these are things that he also needs to look at, because at the end of the day, we are looking at equity and all that. And if people are smart and would always want to outsmart the system, but how are the regulators going to outsmart them? That's another huge question.
So we'll be talking about the regulation, as he has already established. He is the production manager for TVUCC. So before he leaves here, I want him to tell us something, run us through the activities that TVUCC would be coming your way with. Some of the activities. Maybe you wouldn't want to talk about all of them.
Well, I think, for instance, we are going to have an improved version of Campus Run, and we've started with talking to the various student leaders. It won't end with the president. We'll go down to the JCRC level and then also find out at least some sort of accountability. How do these students hold their own colleagues accountable? So we are looking at Campus Rundown from a more political perspective this particular semester. There's also the Laugh Talk show that we are still working around the corner, but I'm sure latest by the end of the month or beginning of this month, the beginning of next month, we'll start with Laugh Talks. And then for the football fans, Sports Fans Arena is there for you. So Chelsea, of all my Chelsea lovers, we've gotten a new coach, Mauricio Pochettino, what he has for us. So we knock at your door and then you tell us your feeling, match day experience and all that. So just be in expectation, because TVUCC, we are coming out large and big, and this time we are covering everywhere. We've also started what we call the Uncut series. The Uncut series has more of a tourism outlook, where we go to some tourism sites, fishing harbors and all that, to look at how, as stakeholders, we can help those industries. So this year is a packed year for TVUCC and of course for ATLFM as well. You can follow us on all our social media handles, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook, and of course subscribe and hit the notification button on YouTube, so that anytime we come your way with any video, we are the first person to get access to it.
All right. Is there anything else you would want to say?
I think that's all. And they should watch Atlantic Wave live on Facebook, on ATLFM. Tomorrow we're engaging the PURC on the quarterly tariff adjustment. What would you like to know about the tariff adjustment? How that calculation has got to be, and how can we even save power and all that as utility users. So it's just an interesting bunch of activity. I know students would say ATLFM, no, but ATLFM is made for us. In fact, the entire CBS is made for the student body, the university community, and then the general public.
Credible information from the university, then you would have to stick to our pages, our platforms, ATLFM, TVUCC, on our Facebook platform, YouTube, everywhere that you can find us. Search for ATLFM or TVUCC and do well to subscribe to our channel. We're going to show a video of what happened on the launching day of the SRC Shop and Shopping Day. Stay with us, but keep your comments coming. Right after that, Latif Lawrence Johowe, who is the SRC president of the University of Cape Coast, will join us here and we'll begin the conversation on the project. I'm drawing closer to see if this beautiful lady is ready to speak with us. Hello, good afternoon, and thanks for joining us.
Hello, thank you.
What's your name? What program are you studying and your level?
My name is Emanuela Sikaba. Yes, I'm in level 300 with EBA Arts. I'm majoring in history and religion.
What brought you here?
I came to shop. Yes.
So what are you going to buy?
I've loaded my wallet, so hopefully I'm sure I'll get everything here.
Oh, right. So she is here to buy anything at all that she can buy at the moment. But what is your take on this project?
Well, it's very interesting, but my only problem is with how the line is moving. The queue is moving like very slow, and I've been here for long, and I have a class too. So I think next time they have to work on it. Probably get more people to serve us so that we go faster, because we have lectures. Yeah, exactly.
I understand some of the gentlemen are here to buy for the ladies so that they can later go to the ladies and parasite. Would you want any of the gentlemen to do that for you?
No, please.
Oh. But would you invite them?
No. Shop time, no friend.
I wanted to ask you if you would invite me, but if you are not inviting the gentlemen,
Shop
then
time, no friend.
Really?
Exactly.
All right, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thanks for speaking with us. Okay, so who is ready? Gentlemen, come. Don't run away. Don't run away. Come. Hey. Come. Don't run away. We've already captured you. How are you doing?
I'm good.
What's your name, your program, and your level?
I'm Kwame Akins, a Bachelor of Arts in History student, level 300.
Neatly dressed. I like your dress. You are a Casfordian?
Yes, please.
Whoa, fellow Casfordian.
Hey.
So the Casford boys are also here to buy. What are you going to buy?
Oh, actually, I'm here to buy rice and some spaghetti. Yeah.
Do you cook at all? Do you
Oh,
prepare
sure, I
food?
do cook. In fact, I'm a good cook.
Which of the foods can you prepare well?
Actually, rice, jollof, and then some skirmishes.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to doing skirmishes with food, I'm very good at that.
Name 3 ingredients that you will use for tomato stew.
Oh, okay. So probably we have you get your pepper. So you get pepper.
Go ahead.
And then you get your onion. And then you get your Maggi cube or Maggi onga or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess these are the things that you're gonna buy.
No.
All right. Thank you for speaking with us. All right. Who? The lady? Hello. How are you doing? She's running away. So that is it. Stay with us. We would be engaging the students, of course, those who are ready to speak with us. All of them are running away. So stay with us, it's okay. All right, so currently I am under the third tent where the students are selling the food items. Let me speak with this lady who is ready here. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
What's your name, what's your level and your program of study?
I'm Akwaku Dokas, level 400, communication studies.
Are you buying or you are selling?
I'm selling.
You are selling. Great. Let's look at the items that you're selling.
Okay, so we are having rice, fortune rice, we are having tasty tom tomato paste, we are having fried oil, and then indomie. Yeah.
What is your take on market so far? Do you think the students are really buying?
Oh yes, we didn't even expect this, and then it's been encouraging so far. A lot of students have showed interest, they've come around. A lot of sales today. We didn't expect it. It has even exceeded our expectations. Yeah.
What do you have for students who are watching, especially those who are yet to come here?
Okay, so what I would tell them is that we have a lot of products in stock for them. So God willing, tomorrow, even let's say you are having a class today, so you are not able to come here to buy your things. God willing, tomorrow you will come around. We'll be having Unilever bringing out their products, so you can still come around tomorrow or Friday to come and buy your things.
With your rice, maybe somebody would want to know the brands. Can you take us through some of the brands that you have?
Oh, we are just dealing with one brand, which is Fortune Rice. That's all. We don't have other brands, just one brand. Fortune Rice. That's all.
We're grateful for your time.
Okay.
Beside me here, and of course, ready to speak with us, is the SRC General Secretary, Christabel Abanga Malitina. Okay, she's the SRC General Secretary. Mali, we are done with the luncheon, but I still see a number of students here. Paint a picture for us. What is happening?
Okay, so currently we've started sales, we've started selling, and as SRC, as Student Representative Council, we are to ensure that our students are in a conducive environment, financially, academically, economically, everything. And so as part of our economic policy, we brought about what we call the SRC Shop and Shopping Day, where we sell food items, in quote provisions, to our students at subsidized prices. So you go to the market and a bag of rice is about 80 cedis, but SRC says no, we need to ensure that our students are able to buy whatever that they came with, whichever money they came to school with. Yes. So we are selling rice for 60 cedis. We are selling Indomie for 220 cedis instead of the market price, which is 280 cedis. And it goes on and on. And tomorrow, God willing, we'll even have Unilever on board. And what they will do is that because their vision aligns with that of the SRC, we are liaising with them, and they are going to bring products, Pepsodent, Geisha, Key soap, and they are going to sell them at very cheap prices. So in the market, a box of Pepsodent, the big size is 20 to 22 cedis. But Unilever says no, these are students, we need to help them. So they are going to sell us for a whooping 15 Ghana cedis, which is cool. So that is practically what is happening.
So after today, where would you be situated for people to come to you to be buying these items?
Okay, so it's a 3-day policy, a 3-day event. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we'll be here tomorrow, we'll be here on Friday, same time. We are going to sell the same product, just that new additions will come. We are going to sell perishables tomorrow. So yam, tomatoes, cabbages, all these vegetables will be here. We are going to sell fruits. As you can see, we already have eggs here. Then tomorrow Unilever too will come. So Unilever is tomorrow is going to be a much more big. We'll have a student volunteer. So maybe on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the student volunteer will be there, and then he will sell these items to the students who were not able to come here or join us here. But I think I also have to mention that 30% of these products that we are selling is going to be for free for students who are in dire need and students with disability. So it's going to be for free for students in dire need. We have criteria for students who are in dire need, and then for students with disability.
Is there any platform? Session below that would prompt us that you're part of us, you know what I'm talking about, and we would highly appreciate your time. Intermittently we would be reading it, but do us that favor. There's a friend who is yet to get to know what we're doing here. Share the content, let the person get to know and get opportunity to watch us live talking about the SRC shop and shopping day. Latif, you're welcome. You look good.
Yeah.
Your haircut,
I always like it.
what type is that?
This is almost Sakura.
When the money men meet, they have special haircuts.
Money, well, so there's no money man here. So, but
really?
the haircuts are not the same.
So you know the haircuts I'm talking
No,
about.
so you say when money men meet, we've met. Our haircuts are not the same.
about
So
to
we are
talk-
not money men.
I was about to tell them that when it is sewed down, it means he has a lot.
To think about.
All right, that is just by the way. How far with the office, administration, operations, management, student course? Tell us something before we even zoom into our conversation for today.
Student course. The number of calls I receive a day is overwhelming. But ever since I took office, I had said that the oath I had taken is one that is to allegiance to the students of the University of Cape Coast. And so every call, if I miss it, I will call back. And sometimes it can really be stressful. But I think it's been an exciting journey so far, one that is full of lessons, especially students and how people behave generally, and how you are able to manage these things vis-a-vis your anger, your temperaments, and your mood. It looks like sometimes you yourself, you have a personal problem, maybe from home and other, but you need to keep a very good face so that people don't think that things are not going well. And hustling between the academics, meetings, a whole lot of programs and others. It's something that also trains us to be more disciplined and be able to appropriate our times very well, because it's either you focus on the leadership and academics suffer. But all in all, it's been so far so good. Yeah.
Let's look at the SRC Shop and Shopping Day.
Yeah.
Give us some background information about this project.
Okay. And so the SRC Shop and Shopping Day project is born out of a problem. For me, when I was running for office, most of the policies that I had preached were policies that were supposed to solve a problem. And so we identify a problem and we look at how best we can solve this problem. And so, being here for like 8 years now, a major problem with students of University of Cape Coast is cost of food items, food staples. You realize normally when people go on vacation and we stay back, the amount of tomatoes that is sold for, say, 5 cedis, when students were on campus, a week after students go home, you see the quantity change. Then you ask yourself, why was it that 3 maybe pieces of tomatoes were sold for 5 cedis during school session, and now 5 is being sold for the same 5 cedis during vacations? I have stayed here a number of times during vacation, and you see the huge price variation and the quantities that correspond to prices. And so you get to realize that people are just exploiting students because the 28,000 students must and have no option than to buy from the seller who is readily available. So people just add prices. So it had been a matter of concern. And last year, the SRC then introduced what we call the food bank, which generally sought to give out food items to students who are in dire need. A very brilliant, very, very good initiative that helped a lot of students, especially during examination times. We're coming from that background of artificial prices and coming from the initiative the last SRC introduced, we felt that we could better that initiative by expanding it to reach out to a lot of students, because if we want to share food to students, we may not be able to get to a lot of people. So we can still do that while we provide a market platform to students to be able to get food staples that they would get from the seller by his or her hostel at an artificially high cost, now at a market provided by the SRC at a relatively lower cost. And so we decided that the SRC shop is an initiative that we needed to pursue. And the bottom line is to get these food staples to students at subsidized prices. Our main mission and our focus is to provide the ordinary student a market option where the person can get these things at affordable prices. And so starting with, the SRC procures these food items, and then we decide that instead of selling all of them at the price that you get in the market, why not subsidize it by, even if it is 5 cedis, it means that you are literally giving the student, say, 5 cedis to be able to buy some pepper, tomato, or something to be able to cook the food he or she has bought. If the student had gone to the market to buy that food, he or she would have to look for the 5 cedis somewhere to be able to buy those tomatoes or pepper in order to prepare it. And it also allows the SRC to get back money to buy again. so that we can sustain it. And so let's say if the SRC decides to enter this with about a 90,000 cedis, after sales, it means that the SRC would at least reap about a 40,000 to a 50,000 cedis or 60,000 cedis back, depending on the rate of subsidies that we give. Then the 50,000 that we have reaped or recovered or recouped from the money we use in buying the first consignment, then we'll be able to buy again. That is from the first perspective of the SRC directly using the student dues to buy food staples to give it back to them. The second focus of the SRC shop has to do with the SRC partnering with brands and companies where they can equally come in, and the agreement is going to be that, look, we are providing you a market platform where we will bring students of the University of Cape Coast to the grounds to make purchases. The thing we need from you is reduce the prices or sell them at the factory price that you will be selling if somebody had walked into the factory to buy, so that the students can patronize. And so in the very recent one that we did, you realize that Unilever was a part of the SRC shop and shopping day. And so the Pepsodent that you would have been buying for about 20 cedis in the market, when you come to the SRC shop and go to the Unilever stand, you get that same Pepsodent for 15 cedis. That is a whooping 5 cedis off the price you wouldn't get anywhere. When you are buying the geisha that is sold at 10 cedi, 12, some even say around 12 cedis, you get that geisha from Unilever for about for just 8 cedi, 50 pesos. So you get to realize that the student gets to save something. And for me, if that market or the shop and shopping day option provide the student the opportunity to even save 1 cedi, it is a better model for us than not to do it, and the student will be left into the hands of the artificial monopolists whose major interest is to exploit the student, because the student, they know the student has no option than to buy from them, because even if he asks from the next shop, they are all in the same business of exploiting the ordinary student. It's the same price or even a higher price. So when we have ours, we are able to give the students that market option. So we are going forward, we intend to have the perishables. We are engaging the school farms. They have the perishable, the tomato, the garden eggs, the pepper, green pepper, and others. We are engaging them so that the next one we are going to do, we have a lot of tents that would be for them. Then we are engaging a lot of corporate organizations, including even hair, the ladies' hair, and things that our dear ladies cherish a lot, that is, they get to buy at high cost on campus. We get these people on board, promising that they will sell the product at their wholesale price, or let's say factory price, to the students. And all we need to do is provide them the platform.
I've received your message here. Loss of life. GH, you said kudos to TVUCC, brand credits to you. You also saying that grade 1 there, TVUCC. Edward Blay, you said, wow, thank you very much. We do appreciate your time. Latif, you talked about the SRC Bank project. Quite a good one. Of course, my colleague Bobby on the civil resources talked about that. Why didn't you continue that one?
Oh, so in this SRC shop project we are still doing, it is still infused. So the food items we buy, we don't end up selling every single thing. We still reserve a percentage that is largely targeted at the student visually impaired, our visually impaired students, the students with disability, and students who are in dire or critical need. And so that is still in it. So we still have that bit of the quote-unquote food bank project where we give food items freely to students who genuinely cannot afford. But like I had said, we don't want to have it entirely so so that the SRC will not be able to recoup any, because when we give the food entirely free to all students, it means if we use a 90,000, everything goes, nothing comes back, and the sustainability will be a problem. Yes.
What is your take on suppliers who would want to join this project?
Suppliers?
Yes, the people, farmers around who would want to join this project.
Obviously, we want to welcome them. And in fact, it's even the people who sell fish and others. So we want to engage, especially the people who are close to the seas and who want to provide these to us at affordable prices. Our arms are open. In fact, we want to have as many partners as possible, because SRC cannot buy all the things the student need to sell for them. And in fact, if we have somebody who says, oh, I can supply fish on that day at this subsidized price, it means the SRC will not be bothered in using its money to buy fish. If, let's say, SRC...
At a reduced price?
Yes, at a reduced price. That is the condition. It's not a market for you to come and exploit the student. Obviously, if you come and we realize that your prices are as same as those in the market, we kick you out.
What will benefit the supplier then?
You said,
or you would subsidize, you pay an amount to the supplier so that they will sell it at a reduced. So what will benefit? What will be attractive for? So what will make it attractive for the suppliers to come in?
One, the market is there. You saw the numbers that were there. When the school farms brought their eggs, they brought, I think, about close to 100, I should say. It got finished in a twinkling of an eye. They left like
crates or 100?
The crates. Okay. It finished in a twinkling of an eye. And around 1 p.m., 2 p.m., they were gone. And I'm not too sure if they are able to even make that sales in just a day. Maybe people go there, but a lot of people came out, and I'm sure if they even had about 500 crates, those crates will get finished. You get it? So for the supplier is the market, because it's a good, all the students are there to buy. And you see, there are people who are ready to sell them at reduced prices. But you see, because it's a university setting, somebody goes to buy them from these same suppliers. The person can actually sell the thing for 8 cedis and make profit, good profit. But because this is University of Cape Coast, the student in Valco Hall, Ogua Hall has no option. This same person is selling the thing to the student at 15 cedis. So if somebody comes in and is selling at 8 cedis, the person really is not feeling the pain, because genuinely he's making profit. But to the students, it's about a 7 cedi off. Like, wow, this thing I've been buying it for 15 cedis. This woman is selling it to me at 8 cedis. The supplier makes profit, the students benefit as well.
With regard to cost implication of this project to SRC, what do you have to tell us?
So, cost implication is very costly, because you know how much these products cost on even the market. And that is why I had mentioned that it will be practically difficult, because even if the SRC wants to use the entire dues to buy food items, it will get finished.
I know, right?
It will get finished. So that is why we are interested in getting a lot of other people coming on board to partner us, so that it can narrow the products we will focus on buying. So maybe if we were supposed to have bought geisha to sell, Pepsodent to come and sell, getting Unilever on board has saved us buying geisha, buying Kiso, buying Pepsodent, and maybe subsequently the other products. So it has saved us. Now we can focus on another. Let's say if we get Indomie on board the next time to do, and Indomie agrees that, okay, for the hungry man size or the middle one or the smaller one, we have agreed to take off 5 cedis off to sell to your students. It saves us the opportunity, the cost of having to use our money to buy Indomie to sell to the students. So I think that this way we have started, subsequent SRCs with innovations will get to a point where the SRC would necessarily not have to even pump a lot of money in buying the things. So we can be gradually taking ourselves out in using our own money, but creating a market days for people, knowing that oh, now UCC has a project where maybe in June or in every first semester they do it like 3 times, and now we have the opportunity to come with our things and sell to the students. You know, there are a lot of the companies out there who equally want to reach to the students, but they cannot because they don't get that opportunity. You cannot just come and set up your stand anywhere on campus that you are selling. Obviously, you can't do that. You cannot either come through the university itself, public affairs, or through an SRC collaboration. And so when they know this thing is there, they may even be very ready to collaborate and provide their items. So now if going forward, Wilma Ghana is interested, Gino Ghana maybe is interested, and say Enapa Foods is interested, which we are engaging to see how they will be interested and the amounts they will be ready to sell these things to us. And we get all these things. Gino comes in, they will give us tomato paste and others. Enapa comes in, they say they will give us mackerel, sardine, and spaghetti and other things. What business do we have to even buy? Then all we need is to coordinate all these people. UCC farms will say, oh, they can get us the vegetables and other all these things and sell to us at affordable. All we need is to coordinate them, get a date, and then we put everybody out there. The students come and buy, and SRC will necessarily not even need to commit money, probably subsequently.
And of course, Latif, you're creating markets, good markets, of course, for the suppliers.
Yes.
Do they come to sell at a fee?
Well, this has come up a number of times, and I've always maintained that I don't think the SRC, for me, that is for me, I don't think the SRC should busy itself with taxing these people, because you know what, we do tax shift. If you charge Unilever, let's say 5,000 or let's say 500 to set up the stand, Unilever, instead of selling the geisha for 8 CD 50 pesos, will now want to sell it at 9 cedis, because he will have to find a way to calibrate the price to get the 500 CD back, because he didn't intend. But when you tell them that, look, all we need is to have the effect felt by the ordinary student, and so ideally we are supposed to charge you, but we are giving you this for free. Just set up the stand, but make sure the price reduction is as much as possible, and then let it be felt by the student, because eventually, if the SRC even take the 500 CDs, we are going to use it to organize another program or something. We may not necessarily need it, but the ordinary student will need it, and he will feel the 500 CD waiver you have given to the supplier in his pocket, because it will go and affect the price. And I think ultimately that is what the SRC is interested in. So when Unilever came, I just told them that, look, we are not interested in charging you anything. We are interested in the prices you want to give to the people. How much do you want to sell Pepsodent? They told us, okay, we will sell. We said, no, okay, can you do it this price? Because we are not charging you for stand nothing. Okay, we can do this price. We can do that price. And the student feels the impact.
How then does this benefit the student who is not interested in buying? Definitely there's someone that the family always makes sure that the person has food items here. How is this person going to benefit? Because we pumping money into this, and obviously that is also going to cut down on some other activities that maybe that student would have been enjoying. I know there are some people who like it when the artists come on campus.
Yeah, those people will come and also dance at the artist night, and those who came to buy will maybe also sleep. They will not also come.
But here is the case that we're using the money of SRC to buy. Latif.
Yes, so just like government, not every policy can affect everyone, and governments and SRCs exist practically not for every student. That is the truth. In fact, there are people right from level 100, they don't even need the help of the SRC. But you know what? They need the SRC there for the friends that they may not also be able to directly support. And so for a student who, well, on the food stuff, there are plenty in his or her hostel. But such a student should be glad that his or her friend who struggles to feed, buy foodstuff and other things, now has an option created by the SRC for such a friend. I think that alone should be satisfying for those students. But to say that the SRC or any government or any leadership can initiate a policy that will affect every single member of that government, it's practically no. Some would also affect some people, some would not. So that is how normally we look at one, either the marginalized, the less impoverished, or one that affect everyone. Even the data package, there are students who are not interested. I'm telling you, there are students who are not interested. I've met somebody who told me that, oh no, 5 gig crime, so no, I won't update my number. I've met somebody who told me that he uses Airtel Tigo, and he's not ready to get a new SIM. And I asked him why. I said, oh, it's nothing. Like the data now, it's nothing. Really? That is him. And there are people like that who have just chosen that. Even the data package that we are asking every student to update their number so that we credit the person, he has chosen not to be part of it. But we are interested in the effect on as many students that will patronize every project that we want to do. Yeah.
In monetary terms, how is the SRC benefiting from this project?
In monetary terms, from our side, we are not benefiting. We are not getting profit. So we are losing money. But we are losing money in a positive way. Because obviously when you come, the SRC dues is there. You need to use it to do programs and projects to benefit the student. You are not to come and guard the money and protect the money and hand over the money to the next administration. How do you spend the money? They have handed over to you about an 800,000 in dues. Before you leave office, how were you able to use that money to benefit the student? And so that is the conversation. But it is not something that we benefit from. And that is why I was saying that we are interested in recouping some monies back so that the monies don't finish fast. Because if out of, let's say, 800,000 in dues, we use about 90,000 to buy these foodstuffs. And everything, let's say we are sharing everything for free. Everything goes at once. But when we retail them, we are able to recoup some money, we bank it, then we use it in the subsequent ones. So at least the money diminishes at a slow rate. And then by the time we leave, obviously, the money would have completely been depleted.
On that note, can we say that students shouldn't expect some of the programs we used to see SRC organizing on campus?
Programs? Well, every SRC would, every SRC has programs they want to do, right? So some might have done other programs in the past, and maybe this year it was a one-off thing. It's not something that we necessarily have to replicate, but there are things that we need to continue. I cannot say that, because we are doing the SRC shop and shopping day, we necessarily will not want to have programs that are happening in the past. I wouldn't know what exact programs you are referring to, but we tried to do programs that we think that would impact the student directly.
I know some programs are more like traditional programs. SRC Fun Nights, Artist Nights, SRC Week. Oh
yes, for those ones they will come. And we are doing the 60th celebration this year. It's an anniversary celebration. So for those ones it will come on, unless of course something unexpected happens, then maybe it's put on hold, but that is coming live and colored in July.
Going forward, what do you have to tell us about sustainability of this project?
Yeah, so sustainability of the project, we as the SRC, we should not be more concerned about how much we would use to buy, because our finances will not be able to sustain it, looking at the level of interest students have in it. A 28,000 human force, you can't sustain it. How much? I'm not too sure even the government itself or the central regional minister and combined forces would be able, because people eat every day. The best way we can sustain this is what I had explained earlier, is to gradually replace most of the food items and the food stuff our students need by the direct suppliers of these products, so that they come in, like I have said. So when you're able to get that partnership with Unilever, they know that every year they have that partnership with UCC. They will be ready to always come on board. So you don't need to buy from Unilever. Then we gradually get Enapa Foods on board. The Enapa Foods will know that we don't need to buy Enapa Food stars to come and read. Enapa Foods will then make provisions and always come on board. Indomie. So when we gradually get the main producers of these products, then gradually the SRC can be fizzling out in terms of the money it is using to buy these products and replacing them with the actual producers when they agree that they can give these items to you at a reduced price. A reduced price is lesser than what you generally get on the market.
And UCC Parliament is where they would always be selling?
Well, I cannot say, but it seems to be the center for now. But I think going forward, we can have other places, maybe where we think is large enough to contain students, because for that place, when the crowd is much, it looks a bit smaller to contain the numbers. Because when you have all these people, have people selling hair, people selling probably pomade, people selling groceries and other things come on board wanting to sell them at subsidized private drinks. Let's say those who sell beverages and other things who want to come and sell them at subsidized prices. It will require a larger space, and maybe if it happens during our time, then we will have to look at a larger place.
Don't you
host
think
them.
Going forward, it will be best for the SRC to get a space for SRC market here on campus?
Yes, that's something that we should look at. And I have also even mentioned the idea that if we want to even buy and stock and people to walk in and buy, but looking at the prices we want to sell, I'm wondering how long the goods will even last if we put them in a shop. Because the items we brought, if we had even stocked them in a shop, they were all going to finish at the time they finished.
Do you still have some of them?
For now, we are done. We have run out of stock, and so we are already in process in procuring the second consignment to start again. And like I had said, now we are also in talks with a lot of these companies and producers to come on board directly the next time when we are doing it.
Do you have plans for digital platforms for people or students to buy online?
Yes, it has come up. And in fact, the Dean of Students, who has been a huge supporter of this initiative, equally even mentioned it, where we could create a system where students will be able to place requests for some of these things, probably even ahead of time or at a certain duration. Then maybe people can place their requests. It makes things, a bit easier, a bit straightforward. Currently, we are building an app where a timetable app that will be able to, this timetable issues we have. The app, per the conversations we are having, is an app that would have a lot of features to incorporate in it when it is ready. But for now, we are majorly interested in the timetable. And I think when we are done with that, it is something that we can incorporate even in it to allow students to probably make requests, place orders, and other things via that app.
That's if we'll be looking at who can buy and how he or she who wants to buy can buy. But before that, let me pick these messages. Faustina Jamfua Kwenu says, an awesome initiative from the SRC. Kudos to you, Mr. President, and your entire team. She continued to say that a job well done, TVUCC. Faustina, thank you very much for making time to write to us. Latif, let's look at who can buy and how one can buy from the SRC Shop and Shopping Day.
Yeah, so who can buy is students, strictly students. And you can only buy when you have shown your identity that you are a student. either by your student ID, and so on the grounds you realize that most of them were with their student ID. Without your student ID, you have to show us your portal, not your statement of results, but your portal. Just open your portal, we verify that it is you, because we don't want to create a market for the profiteering group in the towns to come and buy from us and go and kill our students with our own initiative. Because there are people who want to even come and buy from the platform that we have created, go and top it up and kill the students themselves. So it's like you are giving a weapon to the enemy to kill you. So the identification is the law is a prima facie, very, very fundamental. That is one. Two, we have placed limits on how much you can buy. So when we're doing rice, for example, you could not buy beyond a 10 kg. You can only buy 10 kg. The noodles, for example, you cannot buy more than a box. For the spark gladys, you cannot buy more than a box. The oil we were selling, you could not buy more than 2 bottles. So it was we did not want somebody to come and say, Charlie, everybody should pack. The rice, how much is left? Oh, 10 bags, how much is it? You calculate. The oil, give me 10 boxes. Then the person brings a van to carry them, all in the name that he's a student, he's going to eat all of that. We think that everybody should get small. It is better to sell 1 bag of rice to each student and get 500 students buying than to sell 5 bags of rice to 100 students. Because at least everybody should get small. It is not something we can share to everybody, so we should be able to limit it in a manner that it can reach huge numbers, and not that small people will get huge quantities. That is not the focus. And how you can buy, you just need to get your money and come join the queue if there is, and then you get to, there is a lay down process where you make the payment. The SRC treasurer is there. He takes the money, he stamps, he satisfies it before you move. And each decks that we're selling have specific instructions and leaders. And if anything goes amiss, they are the people we hold directly responsible. You can't come and tell me later on that we gave you 50 bags of rice, and when we finished, you did not know where 1 bag went. We don't care. We have told them it's a strict liability.
You mean student leaders are the people
selling?
No,
there's the committee that were in charge in selling. So when we take 50 bags there and 50 bags are reported, the treasurer and whoever is selling is responsible in bringing back that amount of money as per the number we have sent there. So there are no explanations about we could not find this and we could not find that.
Are we going to pay these people who are selling?
No. It's part of the reason why they chose to join the SRC committees. Yes, because I'm SRC president, I've been running around, I'm not paid. So
now would you be there selling?
You said?
Would you be there selling?
I was there. I wasn't selling, but I was there throughout to ensure that nothing did not go amiss, to ensure that everything was smooth, and to also attend to general things that were necessary. But we needed to have the committee people be directly in charge in selling, so that they can even be involved as far as the SRC is concerned in its activities.
And no compensation here to anyone who joins in the selling?
No.
You repeat that?
For that, there are no compensations. We only gave them food. We just fed them.
For the whole day?
Yeah, we fed them lunch, not the whole day. The whole day there.
We have a conversation with Lateef Lawrence Johoway. He is the SRC president of University of Cape Coast. They have introduced a new project, SRC Shop and Shopping Day, and of course the aim of the project is to sell food items to students of University of Cape Coast at reduced prices. You can keep your comments coming at the comment section. Intermittently I would be reading them. Lateef, let's look at how beneficial this project is to student entrepreneurs.
Yes, a very good question. That almost killed me. So the next phase we are considering, in fact, when we started the first one, where a lot of student entrepreneurs coming and asking us, can they bring their products? And I remember, I think this was the second or third day, UCC Farms, they had a training session, so they couldn't come. It was one of the students who sell eggs came and, oh, can she bring her eggs to sell? So why not? As far as the prices are okay. And so we had to be clear on the prices, and she brought them. So she first brought some cartons, and all of a sudden they got finished. And she had to be rushing to go and bring the rest. And I think that day she made very good sales. So there was the day before yesterday, I saw her message thanking me, long message. Thank you for the opportunity and all that. So that is the next thing we want to do, to include student entrepreneur, because we know there are many of our students who have very nice products, very at subsidized, or I say at affordable prices. But where do they put them up for sale? They don't have that. And so we are interested in creating a tent or a space for these student entrepreneurs to equally put up their goods or what they have to offer on sale on the SRC shop and shopping days when we announce, so that we will know that tent ABC is strictly for students who have brought their things. But obviously, like I had mentioned, if you're a student entrepreneur and you bring your things at killer prices, it will not pass the test. It is not just a market for you to come and sell things. It's a market where people can buy things at prices relatively lower than they can get in the open market. So yes, we will specifically be engaging student entrepreneurs subsequently.
That's good. But how do they compete with these big companies that will be coming around with similar products if they are not going to sell at least with a little profit attached to it?
No, there is profit. There will always, you see, Unilever cannot tell us that what they are selling, they are making losses, right? They are making profit because they have to bring a whole van, carry the stuff, they use fuel and everything here. They are making profit. And so I think that maybe if the big companies come in with products that you are equally selling, there might be a bit of friction, but still people will be able to patronize you if they want to. But I think most student entrepreneurs even do things that are really not mainstream stuff provided by the big companies, because you can't find a student saying he or she has done a brand of Indomie and he's selling, or a brand of spaghetti, or a brand of milk or something. Some of them are artifacts, maybe artworks, and some their own made things that probably are not even provided by the main big giants. So they will also be able to have the opportunity to thrive.
Latif, since we're talking about food items, what do you have to tell us about the state of the SRC canteen?
SRC canteen. The state of the SRC canteen. I would tell you that unfortunately, it is not something the SRC directly controls. That is the unfortunate thing. And in fact, that has always been the big problem with the SRC. I remember we sat here somewhere October to talk. In less than 2 months, I'm handing over. And if the next person come in, it's not really somebody who will get himself or herself informed of even the properties, assets, and things of the SRC, before the person will say Jack, he's also handing over. And so when properties like the SRC, sometimes it's difficult to manage. You come in, and if you even rent it, maybe it will lapse after you have left office. And maybe the next president will not even know that the property, the rent has elapsed. So management normally takes control over these facilities. That canteen was built by us, it's our property. But I think management at a point had to take control over the operations of it. And I can say rent and everything of that particular canteen does not come to the SRC. But it is something that we really have to engage, because we have to properly streamline. And maybe the office of Dean of State, because they last more in office, at least 4 years, so they can work with 4 SRCs. So maybe when they are able to keep records of these assets of the SRC that we can rent, then we will be able to know how best we can manage them.
Don't you think if we make them buy from the food projects, the SRC Shop and Shopping Day, there are food items they're likely to also be sold at reduced price for students who would want to buy cooked food? If we can do that, Latif, don't you think it will help?
Is it at the SRC, the canteen?
The canteen, yes. If we can establish a relationship between the SRC canteen and the SRC Shop and Shopping Day, so that they get their materials, raw materials from the SRC Shop and Shopping Day, definitely their prices would be at a minimal level for students to buy from there.
Well, we could, but you know, it's run by a private individual, and so for me, we would rather want to sell the products directly to students. For the prices of the food items they sell there, you know, the fact that there is this SRC Shop and Shopping Day is not an automatic determination of a direct reduction of prices by everybody. People will still come and walk past the SRC Shop and Shopping Day to go and buy rice from somewhere. Paradoxically, I had to buy rice yesterday at 85 cedis, and I was asking myself, I just did SRC Shop and Shopping Day. Because we were so concerned about the project before I realized we were done selling. I could even buy some myself, but I'm excited that it was students who bought. And so maybe it's a conversation we can have with them, because even though it's a private person selling products in the canteen, it can also be part of the conditions of even renting the place to the person, where we can say that, look, we are renting the place to you not because you are paying us money, but because we want the food items and the things you sell then to be beat down below what averagely is sold out there. So I think, yeah, we can, but to provide them the food items to cook and other things is what I don't think, for me, for now, is something we may have to reconsider going forward.
All right, let me pick this message and we'll come to you for your final comments on this conversation. Fred Nyaye Bedu writes to us and he says, good move, TVUCC. Fred, thank you for writing to us. You can also keep your messages coming the comment section, and we'll be reading it. We are concluding on the conversation. What do you have to say before we leave?
For me, I would want to thank everyone who committed their time, especially the committees, the various committees, my executives. Everybody was on board. Management, the Dean of Student Office, for the support in getting this done. And I am sure collaboratively we would be able to get more of these and done as far as policies that the SRC will need to do to impact the ordinary students are concerned. And we will continue to seek the support of the students in whatever that we are doing, because sometimes it's difficult doing things when you don't have support. And I believe that together we would be able to build the people's SRC that we have preached. And with the few policies that we promised also, we are eagerly working on them. Obviously, the 5 GB monthly data package would come. What do we call it? The reset retake policy is something that we are now waiting on academic board to meet and consider as well. So I think basically those are the two major other things left. And for the timetable, teaching timetable in the portal thing we had discussed, we are currently building an app. We've started, and we started keying some of the courses, the timetables of the various courses, to see how it will reflect in the app, so that we can roll it out, and subsequently we would have a medium where you can go and get your timetable rather than having to go through pictures, gallery, and other things.
Just before we go, this one came in. Roughly, how much is the SRC paying? Roughly, how much is it costing the SRC, this project?
No, the last one we did was, I can't remember the exact figure, but I knew it was around 94,000. Yes, around 94,000 for the last one we did.
94,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
Interesting.
Out of it, the SRC would be able to realize at least about 30,000 out of the money. Yes. So you see, when you do it, there are the tax components and other things. When you pay, the money will come down again. So the money we use normally include tax. Doesn't mean that the money you use is the entire money you are using to buy the thing. But if you are buying 80,000, ideally 80,000, calculate the tax and add, so it will jump. So we would realize, because not like I have said, not everything that have we sold, especially for the noodles, spag, and tomato paste and others. There are some that we have to give to the visually impaired community and others. So those are there that has not been sold at all. So when you add those monies, you should be getting about a half of the money that we are using to buy, or let's say, buy the things and retail. So at least the SRC will be able to realize more than half, practically more than half of how much we use in buying the items.
Right. Thank you very much. This is where we end the conversation. Definitely, we shall approach your office to give us more insight as we go forward so far as the project is concerned.
Sure.
Would you want to greet someone before you go?
Oh, who? Just regards to everyone, and yes, regards to everyone.
All right. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
So we just had conversation with the SRC President of University of Cape Coast, Mr. Latif Lawrence Johowi, and we centered our conversation on the SRC Shop and Shopping Day, a project that they have introduced to make sure that they sell food items to students of University of Cape Coast at reduced prices. If there is anything you want to write to us, leave that at the comment section. In our next show, we would be reading them. Definitely, we shall have him here again to talk about other projects. But for now, we want to say bye-bye. Thank you for being a part of us. This is Campus Rundown on TVUCC. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please, this is the time. Subscribe to our channel. Click on the notification icon there so that you will get alert on any update that we do here. And of course, share our content for the world to get to know what we're doing, especially if we're students of University of Cape Coast. My name is Louise Becker, and you can call me the PDF. We cannot be less appreciative to the production team, to Mr. Eric Bento. Thank you very much for making sure that this comes to a success, and of course to you, Obobi, on the Sephiros. He is the production manager. We do love you. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of our programs.